the recreation. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Recreation and Parks Board, City of Port Lavaca to order. First item we have on our agenda is general discussion and hear statements from citizens. So
I want to introduce myself. My name is Irene Tice de la Cruz, and I'm here because I wanted to speak about Ashley Field that's located on Tilly Street. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a rundown about it. In 1994 and 1995, they created a youth football league here in Port Lavaca. In 1997, I was approached to help if I would be interested in helping converting it. The city had their softball field and they converted it into a football field. And with that, I agreed to help them. And what I mean is I helped pay for some of the fencing to go around it. And I donated a scoreboard. In 1998, we came to the city council and it was named in my daughter's name, Ashley. And at that time, I believe it was awarded to the league. Since then, I was involved in the league. I was a secretary. My children played in the league. I sponsored, I donated helmets, shoulder pads, equipment. And then I've gone as far as to do this since 1997. I replaced the scoreboard 3 times. I replaced the fence 3 times. I did the bleachers 2 times. I did the concession stand 3 times, reconstructed it. I donated 2 storage buildings, and I paid in the beginning for the lines to be done on the field. It was brought to my attention that last year there was an incident at the concession stand there where a pole fell on the building. And Mr. Vincent, who's president of the league, advised me that the city had approached him and said the city owned the property and that they were going to file a claim to do the repairs. I still repaired the concession stand. So my question here today is, who does it belong to? Because I have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on that field. And I did it because I wanted to. It's named in my daughter's name. But there's more renovations that need to be done. They don't have a building to meet for their meetings. Their equipment is scattered in different storages. And I wanted to add to the concession stand to give them that. But I don't want to spend thousands of dollars that doesn't belong to them. And at any time the city would take it over. So that's why I'm here today, to find out. I tried to go back to find my minutes, to pay my paperwork where it showed back in 1998 when it was awarded to the league. I couldn't find anything. I called up here a couple of times and they said because of the hurricanes in the past, they lost a lot of paperwork. So it's been many, many years I've done this, and I just want to know before I make a step of spending more thousands of dollars on there, I'd like to know who it belongs to.
You make sure that Lorraine has your name and contact information, because it's not on the agenda, we can't discuss it.
Right.
But we'll look into it for sure and
Yes.
bring this back. Yeah.
Okay. You want to say anything, Liz?
Thank you, Larry. If you could state your name and last name for me, please.
My name is Vincent Phillips. I'm the president of the Calhoun County Youth Football League. Been working with Irene, roughly over 20 years. We've been working together 20 years, and she has donated tremendously to our league. What we were looking forward to doing is that building that's there is the building that's been there since, I guess, the 80s. And we wanted to put a building there. We wanted to do a metal building that wouldn't be any cost to the city. A couple of years ago, the parks director, Wayne Schaefer, had approached us and told me he wanted keys, which we've always had keys to it. He wanted keys, and he was only going to let us use it from the time that we played football. But we've always, cut the grass and taken care of the grass and different stuff and redid the fence. The only thing that they did was when a vehicle came across the street and ran into the building, he made the repair. And then the deck, they replaced the deck that we had placed there when the pole fell. Outside of that, we did the exterior, we painted the inside, we did all the interior. Irene took stairs from the inside, put the stairs that were inside and ran them outside. And so, what we're looking at is trying to do upgrades to the field, but we don't want to do upgrades to the field and put a building there. And everybody else could use it. We've always used it. It's always been the Cal County Football League. So, we're just curious. We're trying to get down to the bottom of it because there's no paperwork there. And we don't want to put a building there and spend a whole bunch of money that wouldn't be to cost to the city, but to have someone else utilize it. So that's the question at hand, and no one has, I mean, we don't have paperwork, no one has any paperwork, so that's where we're at.
Jody, can I ask a question? I know we can't take any action since it's not an agenda.
We can't discuss it really. It's not, I mean, we'll receive information and basically direct staff to look into it, and as long as we get their contact information,
Then we can.
then we'll get back with them on the agenda for next agenda.
Okay, I don't know.
Oh,
Thank you.
No, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Sorry, guys.
Does anyone else need
so
to speak?
you got their contact information?
No, I was gonna say, can you guys just write it down on one of the agendas? I'll give you a hand so I can keep.
We can email and telephone number names so we can get in touch. Okay, thank you.
Thank y'all very much. I'm sure that not only we, but the city will take your comments under advisement and look into those questions you have. I certainly don't know the answers to those. Is there any other general discussion and statements from the citizens? And I want to announce that the next board meeting will be August 27th. Same time, same location. Okay, thank you all. With that, we'll move on to item 2 of the agenda, which is to approve minutes from the regular meeting held June 25th, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Right?
Bye.
With that, we'll move on to item 3. Receive monthly inspection reports from the Public Works Department. Presume those got put in the packet. Jody, do you know anything that needs to be highlighted out of that?
No, it's in your packet. I just thought we might take mention, you know, one of the reasons why we do this and document this. In each board meeting is so that we do have documentation in the event that we have a storm, dams, etc. That is one of the requirements. You know, for FEMA assistance, if we get down to that point, or insurance for that matter. You know, record that we do inspect our equipment routinely. So that's what that is. But that, and I just want to encourage you guys, as you are looking at your parks or any parks, if you see something, you know, make sure and bring it up. Because sometimes the guys might miss it, or, you know, might be something Russ, and they've seen it all the time, goes right past them. Because I know there's several times I will see stuff that they didn't pick up, and I'll make mention to them, but. What I'm saying is don't consider this gospel. There may be things that they missed. So if you see something, let us know for sure.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have anything to say about that?
Ready already.
Okay. Then we'll move on to item 4, which is to receive the update on park assignments from the park board members. Which side starts first this month? Greg, go ahead.
Starting part, other than the fact of the trash bin being parked in front of it. And there's work going on, a building next to it. Kind of makes it a little messy, but the park looks good, just the use of it.
And I can report that, next. Whatever the 30th is, July 30th. We've got an architect coming that specializes in historical structures. Gonna take a look at the Reagan Building. And will, he'll provide, he's gonna make an assessment of the structure and give us some options on what are next steps? Are we realistically looking at trying to turn that back into a useful building that could be rented or used for something, or some sort of an open air plaza that would expand?
Who's gutting that building?
It belongs to the city. It was donated to the city. And so we've cleaned out, you couldn't even get into it, you can safely assess it. So we.
My point of view, the building is open where anybody can get in there and it's very unsafe.
Well, it's got,
We should shield it or put a fence on it.
it does have a fence.
Didn't see it, but
Yeah, I mean, unless
we're
the,
working on that.
if the roof rafted, the fence is open, but there is a.
Kids will get in it and the walls, I mean, anything from,
I mean, there is a chain link fence along the front.
yeah,
And right now you can't get in the back because it's falling down.
those.
Yes.
Do they own the next one to it too, Jody?
You what?
Do they own, the city own the next building to it?
Seats was?
Wasn't it Agroras? No, not the corner, but the next one. Wasn't that Agroras,
Hell,
no,
We
antique one?
we own Reagan's
Reagan's.
and we own Park. That's all we own.
That's it, okay.
Thank you.
I went by yesterday, it looks good. The grass is overgrown in that playground area, but they must be leaving it for some reason, I'm not sure.
Oh, and George Adams.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're waiting on some material to come in to rework.
yeah, that's what you mentioned last.
And I don't know when you were by, but we did, I did have Marvelous Gardens redo the little landscape area by the sign. And we've got water there now, and so we have a little drip irrigation system in there, so we'll have good plants, landscaping by the George Adams Park side.
Okay, thank
Otherwise,
you.
it was good, yes.
City Park, all,
My park looks great. They, both of them look really well. This past Friday, they had that movie thing and it was awesome. You couldn't even hear the generator from them doing the popcorn and stuff where you could, I mean, I was really impressed. And the park looks really good. I still have those strings hanging from the tree, but other than that, it's. And I meant to mention it last month meeting. I appreciate them finally putting them picnic tables out there on them slabs. Cause that makes the park even look more friendlier, more spaces where people could sit, you know? But it's awesome. I mean, the park looks really great. No ants, no nothing.
Is that gonna be an ongoing thing?
I don't know. That's what I was gonna ask.
Oh,
Was that movie gonna be an ongoing thing?
We'll try to do for that, this was a trial to just kind of see how it works with the different screen setup and at that park, because we battle wind. And that's
Good job.
kind of how it ended up in the location it ended up, because there were two trees, there was some things that we could tie off to it needed. So I anticipate under that setup, we can do more, and it was well attended. So I think we'll be planning some more there.
I thought the trees made it perfect because it looked like it was part of the decor. And it looked good and I was impressed. I thought for sure we were gonna hear the generator when the popcorn machine, but no, they did good.
Is it a good turnout?
They did it, yeah.
there was a trailer parked between the generator and where the screen was. And that, the generator is very quiet to start with, but that blocked it so much that you virtually couldn't even hear it
Oh, you could.
because the trailer blocked the sound as well. So the trailer, I guess, belonged to the person that provided the sound equipment and so forth. And that was a good place to park that, and it shielded that noise.
Yeah.
But I got out there myself just prior to the movie starting, and I was a little concerned that it wasn't going to be very well attended, but by the time I left, more people have shown up, even though they didn't see the very beginning of the movie, but
That's okay.
that's their
First time,
loss.
Yeah,
But it did turn out to be a decent crowd.
it did. And you kids can just take your blankets and lay
Yeah,
out.
and there was no drama, no nothing. I mean, when I was there, there wasn't. It was all family. Popcorn and pickles.
And beat that.
Great
Yeah,
movie.
some organization donated that,
On the coast did the popcorn and pickles.
so they provided that to anybody that wanted them free. At least to the person attending.
Yes, and there was water too. I did not know that, thank you.
And it's wonderful.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Okay, that's it. Thank you. I just took drive through Bayfront Park, and the park itself looks pretty good. It's amazing how quickly that grass went from a lush green to a mostly brown. It just, just that quickly. It's I realized that park is pretty much based off of concrete and everything else that's been dumped out there to make that peninsula to begin with. And so it doesn't,
Flag last
Huh?
week. I put up new flag last week.
yes. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And so there's not a real deep soil base on it, so it's amazing that it even grows grass in a sense. That's all I have.
Have Lighthouse Beach, and I haven't been there in about a week, so I'd be lying if I said I drove through today. I did not. But it looked good when I did go through. Splash pads. Kids love it.
Back last weekend.
Yeah, buddy. And it's hot. We need a big tent over the whole thing. I think that'd be we'll need a bigger splash pad. We definitely need a bigger splash pad. We need a splashway. I'm like. Just saying. Hey, the adults are even out there. I was out there too when I took my grandchildren, and I assume just children. There's adults out there too. And I'm not gonna whine about the shade. I know they're working on it.
Yeah, the shade on the splash pad.
By the split, yeah.
Yeah, because the one, we replaced it, because it got damaged after one of the windstorms. Year sometime, and the ones it sent us never would fit right, and it would hang too low, it wouldn't get taut. And it was hanging and it kept rubbing against that one tall feature, the splash pad, it created a hole in it. And so the manufacturer took it back to either fix it or replace it, and I haven't heard what the status is.
That's all I have. On the swimming pool, Jody, I understood that it was not open again after the lighting,
Another electrical
problems.
This one, it melted a pump, is what Ryan told me, but it's not a huge dollar item, but it's getting fixed. I don't know what to do with it. It's the second time.
I was just wondering, because somebody tried to go and they call me and it's like, what's wrong? And then I heard them,
A lightning strike.
right, the lightning strike.
Electrical system.
And that's what I told him. I said, I know about the lightning strike. I said,
I knew about that, but I thought it was open again.
Right.
Yeah, it opened up.
Right, after the lightning.
That's what we did, and then it happened again.
Okay.
Bill, Wilson Park,
Wilson Park looks good. Just touch up on the weed eating and mowing. Other than that, looks good. Just that new restroom they got right there by the skate park. That seems like every few nights I have to close that men's door up. It's like they're the wrong doors or something. They don't have that bar on it, but they're like a counterweight. But kids open the restroom door.
Did they put, are their door closed on?
Not yet, but they don't have it to where, it's like a counterweight up there. They don't have a chain. They're both like that, but for some reason, the men's door, if you don't close it, it don't really close. And I live down the road from there. There's times it's wide open. I'll go close it, but it's an awesome thing.
It's kids and they don't close the
Yeah, but
door.
it's the men's restaurant. I guess it's just the way it's designed or something. I don't know. That's all.
I mean, I know that can happen even like the beach, those doors will be
Right.
open and stay
But
open.
most of them, they got those little bars. This was just like a little counterweight up there and it's like different. I
It
don't
was
know.
like this, the door open, the door closed. That's what I was asking,
Right.
if that. it's got
No,
that.
it's not, there's nothing that connects to that.
Well, thank you, Bill, for closing the door.
Yeah. All the time. It's like all the time.
Does it?
But it's just down, but other than that, we'll spark, nothing major. Everything looks good so far.
Thank you.
Butterfly Park looked good. I don't. think he's got, anyway. It looks good. The sign's not up yet, but the other sign is, and it's very nice. So. All good.
All right, anything else? All right, thank y'all. The next item on the agenda is receive financial status report from Parks Recreation Department. Is there anything to point out on that one, Jody, that you know of?
Believe so, I mean, I'm getting. Spending money within budget. But I don't have anything significant
And then we'll move on to the next item, which is item 6, discuss financial reports at Lighthouse Beach Campground.
Okay, on your, at your places, I did. But I updated the camp spot. And I was in the process of converting this to, instead of being a horizontal chart, a vertical chart. But I didn't get it done, so I just added to this one. That way won't be so tiny print. Keep going. But I mean, we're still, let's see, in June. We're comparable to where we were last year, but still we're way under what we were in 23. June we had a total of $8,500 last year. In June, we had 93, almost 9,400. But in June of 23, there was 19,000. July through yesterday, we got in 9,000. Last year, it was just over 7,000, but in 23 it was 16,000. Looking at the reasons for staying, or reserving spots, you can see, I mean, we have significantly increased in the number of people that come to vacations, which is good. But then obviously we've got a lesser amount with those coming for work. We can see our occupancy, we're only like a quarter, 24%, 25% occupancy for the RVs. We're kind of hovering around a difference of about 60,000 in the revenues collected between August of 24 and July of 25 versus August of 23 to July 24. That difference in those 2 years is staying right around $60,000 or so. For consideration, as you recall, we did go back and went back from the original 3-month maximum stay to the 6-month. What they're reporting is there's a little bit of difference, but nothing significant to show. I know that, I've had a few on council concern whether we need to look at rates again, and maybe go back down a little bit. This for, study or looking at, I did put in a copy of what our rates are now. And what, the last time we did a study of comparable waterfront sites, in the region is on the other sheet. I think another thing that, we might want to consider, although right now we're not even, getting 100% on the hillsides, but at some point we might want to look at allowing, I don't know, 4 or 5 of the waterfronts to be monthly rents. We rarely are renting those entire 18 out at one time. I think on July 4th, which is our peak, I think there was still 1 or 2 sites that weren't rented. Maybe we were like at 16 or 17. We didn't rent the entire 18. But again, that's July 4th and Memorial Day is the only time we have near full capacity, and that's the waterfronts. That doesn't really affect the hillsides that much. Anyway, just, things for consideration. As far as the status of the gate, I know Wayne was working on getting the conduit in for the electrical. I think that's ready. I don't know when they're gonna be here, but it's not gonna be too much longer. I think they were, if I remember right, it was like the end of August that they were planning on coming to put that in. Early September. And, obviously, once that comes in, there'll be some money generated, some revenue generated there. Whether we'll wait and see how that goes, or, again, look at the rates and consider price revising that monthly rate.
So what was the council's concern on the rates? They thought it was too high or they thought it was too low?
Because not too low, but we're not generating enough revenue to keep the park functioning, it's losing money. And so, why is it losing money? We basically price ourselves out of the market right now.
Right. But wasn't that the intent? I mean, I know we want to make a profit a little bit, but at the same time, we didn't want to compete with the other people because then they were gonna. So I mean, on the fence here. That's the reason I was saying, well, what was their concern? So we haven't.
This isn't council as a whole, this is some that have come.
Oh, I see. I see.
What are other people's thoughts on us?
But this is not etched in stone yet, right? The rates?
Well, this is the rate we have now.
Right.
But this is what we have now. It's just, is this something you wanna look at again or not, or just wait until the gate is functioning and then reassess at that time?
And revamp this a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned that, I will bring some express concerns to parks. That at least, I'm sure then that we are looking at this, we're looking at this each month, monitoring it.
The rates are, if you look at that comparison chart, our rates are pretty steep. I did not realize we were that far above range. I mean, I know we don't want to compete with the businesses, the campground businesses. However,
Right.
our intake is like almost half of what it was in 23.
That's,
It's just under 60%, so. But
Okay,
yeah.
I overspoke, but
Right,
it's still
that's okay.
pretty extreme.
I was gonna point that out, so I'm glad you brought it up.
It's still a pretty extreme, vast difference. And, we thought it was the 3-month, 6-month thing, but it may be more the price consideration.
Yeah, it really hasn't significantly changed since we, went to, we're staying, like I said, between 50 to 60-ish% of what we did before. And now we've come back 4 years, so now we're looking, to look at that comparison, we gotta go back to 23, because we're still comparable to what we did last year, but the prior year before, we had the increased pricing, we were bringing in already.
I was looking these numbers over before the meeting and it does look like in the last few months, the revenues are very close to what they were in the previous year.
Previous year, yes.
But we really lost out more earlier in the
Yeah,
year.
so we go back to 23 now.
Yeah, so, but the other thing too, that I was kind of surprised about is, I was kind of expecting that we'd have seen more of a spike due to the birding festival thing. Yes,
The number one, from a tourism event standpoint, the number one complaint we get on that car is the rates. I mean, we priced ourselves out of the market, in my opinion, and what we're hearing from people that travel to the area. On the flip side of that, in some talks with other RV owners, they didn't have such problems with the rates, it was the long-term stays. And so when we flip-flopped it, it really, that's just what we're hearing and the people that we talk to.
yeah, and as Olga pointed out, we're in a balancing act between getting a rate that generates the most revenue versus not undercutting the comparable parks, RV parks in our area.
See, we went from $500 a month to $650. When we made that jump.
Yeah, but see, one of the things that makes it a little bit more difficult to assess too is some of the competitive privately owned RV parks. They have a base rate that might even be a little bit lower than ours in some cases. In some cases, they're higher, but they also charge for extra things like the electricity. And sometimes I guess sewer and water are extra rates for some of the parks. Whereas ours is an all-inclusive number. And while you may hear complaints about the rates, it may not be apples to apples. Complaint on the part of the person that's making the complaint.
We also, and I know this is being addressed, but we also, if they can get Wi-Fi at other parks that they can't get.
Well, I think that's
in the works, but I think that's close.
I think it's
Yeah.
done, if not done, it's very close to being done. I will have Wi-Fi.
You know, we used to have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But as far as comps, I don't. Where am I, I'm missing others that are higher than us for the monthly, weekly. There are two, Rockport, that's $5 a day higher, but in Portland. And okay, the KOA.
So do you want to give it a couple more months, Jody, or?
Just bringing this to y'all, what do you guys think?
I think we should wait because until we get that gate and I don't know, I also feel like the kiosk might be a problem with some people, but maybe not, maybe it's just me on that part. Like the Wi-Fi, I don't have it, so you gotta get everything on the kiosk, so I don't know.
Heard rumbling complaints about them charging for park entry again. About us charging for park entry again. But that's not where we're.
Yeah, I mean, council's made that decision.
Right.
And again, they did not increase the rates from what they've always been. They're very low.
Well, I think for us here locally, the biggest comparison would be our hill sites at Lighthouse Beach, say versus Texas Lakeside. And ours is $6.50 and theirs is $6.35, but you also have to pay for your electricity, which I'm gonna presume is much more than that $15 difference.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody lives off of $15 a month for electricity.
Ma'am, and you were thinking also that maybe we should open up some spots on the waterfront?
I think that's something to think about. I mean, like I said, I don't know if it make any difference yet, because we're still not full.
All right, that's the reason I was gonna say maybe that might help. I mean, I don't know.
Point, if we get to the point that the hillsides are consistently full up. Like I said, we're not, the waterfronts are vacant for most of the time. On the weekends, we have, sometimes half a dozen, 10 maybe. But we're never, don't have 18.
All right.
Anyway, just, I
I think
think,
it's something we should think about then maybe. Maybe we don't see a change
Yeah, I definitely think we should consider lowering the rates.
as well.
So, going back to your comment about the complaints. And, so is that what you heard relative to people wanting to stay there for the birding festival?
No, it's year round, that we hear.
if somebody's just coming for the weekend,
Yeah, because people, invariably, there was some problems with, number one, the phone for a little while, which has been resolved, but number two, people call the chamber for everything. And they'll call and ask for other RV. What else is around? What do you know about this one? What do you know about that one? Because I mean, it's just right. So it's people that come in for other things that, yes, we get here during the birding festival, but it's year round that we hear that.
Price ourselves out.
well, I mean, if you look at the daily rate, because if somebody comes for the weekend, they're gonna be paying the daily rate. They don't get the weekly rate till they're
Right.
feet.
We're way up there.
We're 70, whereas most surveys are like 55, there's 60.
Yeah, it's a huge jump.
And those are the people we're hearing from. It's not necessarily your longer term rentals.
Okay.
It's those shorter weekend stay, 3-day weekend wanna come visit Fort Lavaca, that type of thing.
And I can.
Is this an actionable item? I mean, can we make a motion?
What I was gonna mention, I mean, we are going to be bringing before council at the August meeting a first reading to change rates for a variety of things towards, with effectiveness October with the new fiscal year. So, this would be a nice time to do it. If we wanted to propose some change, we would have a first reading in August, second reading in September, and then they go effect October 1. But that's not to say, if Parks had an idea to do something, it could be even added in the second reading. And
Well, I don't wanna pick up the price.
Yeah, I wanna lower the price.
I want this. Do you all have a dump site there? So when we would go RV, that was our main concern is who was going to dump it. And
no,
There's no dump in Fort Lavaca.
like, there's no doubt that you have to, you hook up to your. I mean, you have sewer, yes, but you don't have anybody off the street.
no, I'm talking about when we would go RV, that was our concern is afterwards, because sometimes where we were at night before, down further, we didn't have somewhere to dump our stuff.
No, I mean, you have to have a spot,
Right,
yes,
yes, I understand that.
but yes.
I agree.
So if you rent a spot, is that, okay.
And we have to get,
So maybe
whatever the daily rate is.
and you can mention that, that's something else.
Okay, so that'd be a good selling point, okay.
But if somebody.
Everybody was everywhere. Campers. Now they're not doing it no more social media.
Yeah.
It's just part of. It's not good.
Letting you know.
Okay,
I move we I move that we lower the price on our daily rate. There's where I was.
Yeah, but then what? I mean.
Yeah, 60 looks reasonable if you look at the comps.
I think we ought to do a study first,
I was gonna say, I think
Study of,
what's going on.
we've got that right in front of us.
It's a roller coaster here, what is plant expansions? Well, most of them expanded 5, 6 years ago, like Greg's in.
I mean, we might be at the right spot or we might be at the wrong spot, but until we know what's going on around other cities that have something comparable to what we have, then it's a good move. We either go up or go down. I agree with you. But to just lower it down because we think it's too high, it could actually be.
turn our foot off.
I mean, we have the comparable rates right here.
This- We have the comparable.
We have it right here. There's,
Rockport,
what
Backport,
study are you referring?
Other places.
What kind of study are
I'm
you?
not sure what you're
suggesting?
getting at, Greg. I mean, these are numbers from other cities along the coast.
Well, I'll tell you this much, my water bill went from $80 to $140.
Amen.
And you want us to sit here and give them free water as well. And free life, I mean. I'll do whatever.
You wanna lower it to what though, Nina? I mean, what's your proposal?
Because all the others around us look like, even if we dropped it $5, it just 65 looks so much less than 70. It's like when they do $69.99.
Maybe, let me offer this. Let me go ahead. I can, this month, we can go through and update this, all these, and, I mean, because this information is probably, some of it anyway is a year old. So we could update this and bring it back and we can discuss it next time. And if in fact we want to change something, it can be put in the second reading of the rate change in September.
I like that.
We're gonna table that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I withdraw my motion.
No action either.
All righty, then, let's move on to the next item. The next item is receive update on Recreation and Parks Board's master plan.
There's a couple of things up there, but I think they're in, it's in the as well. This is, all this is this is just kind of a status print of that they sent me, just kind of give us an idea of what the report's on ultimately going to look like. You look at some of this, you look at some of the paragraphs, they're just garbage. Because they're just a placeholder for text. But I just, they had sent this, to me as kind of like a status report on where they're at, so I thought I would just share that with you. So they are still talking. I don't have another date yet for another public session, but as soon as I get that, I will pass that on.
So we're hoping to approve all this for 2026, ma'am?
No, I mean, the plan, I don't anticipate the plan being complete till the end of the year, maybe even early part of 2026. This isn't really necessarily tied to this year. But once we get this, then we'll be able to utilize the plan to help us in future budgeting and in making grant applications for park improvements.
Need to go back and read this thing.
Anything else? The next item on the agenda is number 8, review status of capital improvement plan, CIP, fiscal year 2025 through 26 and discuss CIP for fiscal year 2025 to 26.
Yeah, one of those was supposed to be in 24, 25, but I just want to go over this year's capital improvement plan, where we're at. On the parks, what we had skipped, and that's the single sheet paper. This is for the 24, 25 years. We had budgeted to do a shade structure of the Bayfront splash pad. That is complete, that is done. We had Bayfront Park improvements, paint artwork on the raised crosswalk and add lighted bollards to the entrance. All that is done. The only thing left that Wayne still needs to do is actually install some wood bollards at that entrance. But he's got the bollards and everything. They just gotta go do that work. And pole banners at the Bayfront Park, in course with the Bayfront Master Plan. Those have been ordered and are in. The parks guys just need to, street cars probably do it, actually install those. Irrigation and landscaping of city park signs. What I'm planning on doing is using that. Y'all gonna spend that 20,000 to redo the landscaping around the city sign and also add a concrete apron to the parking lot, the main parking lot of the city park. The one that's over by the pavilion has a little concrete apron that they put in when they put the lift station in. We're gonna put a concrete apron to the parking lot. The main one by the restrooms there off of Catholic Road. That and the improvements to landscaping. I'm getting bids right now, so that will be done this fiscal year. And I know Wayne was working on getting, he sent me a message, but he was getting bids to use that 15,000 for the butterfly park to construct a shade structure in that park. And he's getting bids right now, as far as I know. That will be done this week. That will take care of what we had budgeted for this fiscal year. Looking draft for upcoming fiscal year. The one that I just gave you was the updated one. Okay, we're showing. This is from here, I think. We've got $40,000 in there for improvements to Butterfly Park, which, you know, we've been tossing this back and forth for a few years about wrought iron fence, some kind of improvement. So we've got that in this year to make improvements to that fence. We got $40,000 in there to do that. Now, they're in here, you know, we've been talking about a covered basketball court. This 550 was, I'm not sure where that came from, and I don't think that was, yeah, this is the last one I gave you, because I thought we needed that. Anyway, the covered basketball court.
That says 200,000.
Okay, maybe
That's on the single sheet.
I don't think, did I keep the updated one? I think I put it.
I don't have basketball.
No.
That's when you just
Gave
gave
it
it.
out.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
Cause I just got that off the press, literally. Okay, that's what I got. So anyway, that's rated duty. In reality, I don't think basketball court's gonna cost way more than $350,000. And I think in reality, we're gonna need to, once we get the Parks and Rec master plan, then we can make application Parks and Wildlife for grant. Or, you know, in the meantime, we can reach out to some foundations and stuff. But I'm thinking that that's gonna at least be $500,000. We have been trying to get a good budget price. We've reached out to many contractors and we still don't have any numbers. So if we're, at this point, it's a guess. We want to put a placeholder in there. Realistically, low, though, I don't know that it can be this fiscal year, but you know, target 26, 27. So that's kind of still up in the air. And then the cabanas, shade structure, okay, he's got the 15,000. So I apologize, Wayne is at a FEMA meeting right now, that's why he's not here. So it looks like he is taking that 15,000, rebudgeting it, because he doesn't think he's gonna get it done before this fiscal year. So that's what that is for that shade structure at Butterfly Park. And that's really all we've got for this coming year. Now, however, this one, right here that's showing the 700,000 boardwalk, showing Veterans Memorial with Scully's. He shifted it over to 27, 28, but I don't think that's gonna be correct, because our intention for this project, and this is if you remember, we made an application last year to Texas Parks and Wildlife for a sidewalk, shared use path to go along the wetlands lineation line. Let's see, by the wetlands that's there by Clement Cove. You know where at Bayfront Park, you overlook some wetlands when you're walking? On the other side of that, on the north side of that wetlands, on you get out of the wetlands area to run a sidewalk along there, not in the wetlands, but it's in upland, but still lower elevation. And then it would come out on the hill by Scully's. And it would come down, and either run out by Randall Street, or I'm also looking, talking to Matt Glaze to give me some pricing to get a permit to where we can just cut straight across that wetlands and get back to the park. Anyway, that project, we did apply for it with a Parks and Wildlife grant. We did not get it. However, the Matagorda Bay Mitigation Trust will open up annual applications here. They'll open in September, August. They'll be due the middle part of October. So we're planning on applying to the Matagorda Bay Mitigation Trust Fund for this project. We'll have some match with that. The total project is normally about $700,000. We're thinking maybe apply for 500. And we put in 2. Anyway, so, but if in fact we were to get it from the Matagorda Bay Mitigation Trust, we could start constructing next spring. Because there's no waiting, like with Parks and Wildlife, you gotta do all the environmental and it takes years before you actually do it. So Matagorda Bay Mitigation Trust, we don't have that delay.
Even with it going over the wetlands?
Well, it would be, we would not be able to do that portion until we got a Army Corps permit, and that would take and 9 months to a year. But what I'm saying is, it wouldn't be 27, 28 easily in 26, 27. And it might we might even start spending money before that, but that could probably be grant funds. Anyway, those are the projects that we're looking at here in the short term. The rest of these, I think, have just previously, we've just moved them 1 year closer.
Sorry, I gotta go.
So if there's anything else you guys think of that we haven't put on here, at least put a placeholder for the future. Now's the time to look there.
Anything?
We do have pickleball courts down here. They're not, we've got them at 8. Again, like if you look over here on the notes, like projects like park enhancements to George Adams or even potentially in the pickleball or other any those enhancements. We can also apply for a small parks grant, it's Parks and Wildlife. And those are matching funds up to like $150,000. So those are things we have in
Would be a possible, I mean, in case the park does not belong to Lee and it belongs to y'all, it'd be
yes,
possible to add the football field to that.
that, I mean, that's
Until that's determined, I mean, because until that's determined, you're talking about a couple of years, so.
right, yes, and I know, that has been a discussion in the past. And whoever we were talking with at that time had basically said that it was only a practice field, it was never for play, and so that was,
It's been for play.
and so it is.
For the last 3 years, they've had to use the stadium
Right.
because my money was going to other things for equipment and stuff, so that's why they weren't using.
Well, I know, based upon former conversations that we've had, I know the Parks Board was in favor, staff in favor of the, spending some money or dedicating some money towards a park if it was being used for competition play and not just practice.
And it was competition, and the other problem we had was bleachers, we only had sets of bleachers, but people were parking in cars, so.
Well, and now that you mentioned bleachers, I mean, that is another thing, we've got Wilson Park, shade there and bleachers too, it's just they're all, high dollar items, those shade structures. Because one of them blew down at Wilson Park and we're probably looking at least 50,000. I don't think it's got that on here. Wilson Park. Yeah, I need to ask him about that.
I think it's.
Okay, I put Wilson and Ashley Field Parks. improvements.
Okay, I'm confused about the cabana structure at Butterfly Park.
Yeah, we have it in this year's budget, is some 15,000, but he's not gonna get that spent this year, it looks like, so he needs to re-budget that. Because any money from last year will go away. So that was to put a shade structure. I believe he's looking at putting it over where the old shuffleboard was.
Okay.
We put a couple picnic tables on the concrete. I think that's where he's.
And so then the fence is also being put off till next year?
No, the fence is on here. The fence is up at the top 25, 26.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so is the cabana structure 25, 26.
okay,
So this is next year's. The one you looked at before is the current year.
gotcha,
That will,
okay.
but that money goes away in September. And it looks like he's not thinking he's gonna get that 15,000 spent this year, so he's gonna rebudget it for.
Let's spend it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
No, unless, I mean, if you guys, I appreciate that comment, because we can, this is a time at least put placeholders in here. And we will be meeting with council Monday afternoon to go through this.
Okay, the last item on the agenda is item 9. Consider and discuss the implementation of a deposit on reservation for the Wilson Park concession stand.
I guess I'm taking that one.
Yeah, I know nothing about this.
We thought Wayne was gonna be here, but we were here, we work very closely with Wayne and Public Works. We handle the pavilion rentals for Lighthouse and Bayfront. And this is kind of an extension of that. For a while now, there's been nobody really overseeing the concession stand. at Wilson. And what's happened is over the past several years, there's just been stuff just left. And it's probably been a month, 6 weeks ago that it got really bad. There's tortillas from 3 years ago and rodents and roaches, and it was just very, very nasty. But there's been no really procedure for other beyond checking out the key. There's been no procedure for going and following up and checking it after it's done. There's been no accountability because, 3 years later or a year later, we don't know who left it like that. And so basically, this is our office working with the Public Works Department we have a form where you can make a request for a reservation. It does not secure your reservation until you talk to us. There would be a deposit. So far, there has been no deposit, no rental fee. There still would not be a rental fee in this plan. However, there would be a deposit fee. And our office would coordinate the key pickup, the key return. And then we would also be checking it after the event. And if stuff is left, basically, you're gonna lose your deposit, at least a portion of it, and then we're gonna trash it. We're not gonna keep it there for weeks and months. And so this is just basically us working together with Wayne to try to implement that. And hopefully he gave you the draft of.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I don't remember whether it was last month or the month before, but we did hear reports of how bad that Wilson Park concession stand was left. And I think what we have in it today is we have a draft of a deposit and an agreement in front of us here. And what I would like to do is if someone would make a motion that we recommend to council that we adopt this.
I move for that.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a second from Bill for adopting this concession stand agreement form and process to recommend to council. Obviously, that's beyond our purview to adopt it, but we do make the recommendation, so and council will take the actual final action on adopting it. So we have a motion, we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, looks like it was unanimous. So we will be presenting this to council.
And that 150 will be included in the, and it's state.
That concludes the today's meeting agenda, so
I move we close.
may I have a motion that we adjourn?
We adjourn.
That's second or first.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, all in favor. All righty, thank y'all for attending. We appreciate it. And we will be looking into that. So,
That's the time. When was that?
It's charged for practicing on this part. That's how it used to be. You can't go Victorian practice on the Wednesday. You gotta pay for it. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, because there's lights.
Well, it might cut down some of the backstabbing and the, people are.
We're searched out there.
Oh, practicing on that field there by HDN. People would reserve it through the city and then someone else would go, oh, well, I was here first, I got it.
thank you.
Excuse me.
What was that, the city anyway?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just charged to practice on.
Well, but they have to call Wayne to
I'm walking out.
reserve it.
Well, they call those cities.
Yeah, they call the city to reserve it, so if they reserve it, and then someone else is like, well, I got here first, I'm not leaving, and, it's just kind of bad form.
It's coach's part to behave that way.
I don't think
Replace the sign, but I have time for it.
All right.
That's.
It's like actually, I remember it's not.
They're the dogs there.
Yeah, it's hard. They use that. It's all for the phone. And you got this. Right?
Poor Danny,
Bougie.
they wanna make it, it's not.
Not that bougie.
There's
There's some things that must be done. And then,
True, and if you see back in earlier, that one time, it wasn't even a holiday. You know,
up there, you can read. Begin the
Really, just like.
I'm gonna stop for some hours. Well, there.
I haven't.
We've a lot, like a Sunday, like
Yeah, I was
a,
actually
let's
just,
say Sunday driver.
I was telling my coworker that I feel like this summer we've been lazy. My kids are in summer camp, they do a lot.
It was, Mr. Whitaker was.
But you feel like students are after.
For the events, yeah, and they have games and they actually have events, so. They've got runs good and going on to
So.
I mean, and so if you guys come in, I'm not sure, right now, it's kid, you stand.
We saw it.
And in our master. We do.
Family was sure about it.
And.
Around.
Was that? Last week.
I know, I lost it. Most of
Big enough.
paying for the cinema, so that's the only reason why I did it, and, when we were supposed to go, it rained. Well, that's.
Yeah, I know, my brother was going to, and then, well, it was flooded and.
Yeah, but we got reimbursed for it, picking days, so I was like, yes, go during the week when it's not packed, and it was perfect, but just. There's no prices of night.
I was gonna say, I was because I was a kid,
I was.
but I just remember how big it is.
Yeah.
I like the splash rate, splash rate is
Perfect.
perfect, yeah.
The same way, we like to, but experiences.
It got so crazy, it didn't used to be that.
And they used to give the golden ticket, remember? Everybody used to give the golden ticket, how you doing? But they don't give the golden ticket no more. I wish they would have.
Okay, and I'll look into that.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Figure it right out.
Yeah.
Building. Come back to the building part.
Yes, we're gonna wait.